is Teenage Marvel Fan back in another video, and I just uploaded a video about how it was confirmed that Japanese Spider-Man will be in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2. But now I'm going to be taking a look at a breakdown of all of the different Spider-Man logos that were shown in the teaser trailer for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2. And talking about all the characters that were revealed to be in this movie. Now keep in mind that this is just speculation, like based on the color scheme and stuff like that of how the logos look, but at the same time wishful thinking, because I hope this is true, because having all these characters in this movie would be amazing. But starting off in the top left corner, of course the first logo is Miles Morales. That's his logo that he painted on the Spider-Man suit and at the end of the first movie. Then the second logo is for both SPDR and Spider-Man 2099. So SPDR had a role in the last movie, and then Spider-Man 2099 was introduced in the post-credit scene. Then next up, we have Japanese Spider-Man, which, of course, I just talked about in my last video, so go check that out if you want more information about how it's actually confirmed that he will be in this movie. Then up next, we have Spider-Ham, who was, of course, in the first movie. Then moving down into the second row, a really cool character that we might see in this movie is the Scarlet Spider, aka Ben Reilly, who's a part of the Clone Saga. And he's a really cool character, and it would be cool to see him in this movie. Then the next one is Tom Holland's MCU version of Spider-Man. So this is an interesting one. And there's actual evidence, because Tom Holland even said that Sony tried to get him a role in the first movie as his character, but it just didn't end up working out. But maybe they'll be able to get it to work out for the second movie. And then that could also be some other kind of Spider-Man as well. Maybe Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Probably not Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, because not many people actually really like those movies. But moving on to Spider-Man Noir, who was, of course, in the first movie. And then next up, a character I really hope is in this movie is Sandman. Now, Sandman is one of my favorite Spider-Man villains, but unfortunately, he suffered from a change that was made to the character that made me not really care for the character anymore, because in basically every incarnation of this character, like in every cartoon, in every movie, in the comics, like, they made him a good guy. Like, they made him a hero. Like, I'd prefer him to just be a villain. So if he's in this movie, I hope he's actually a villain. And then I'll talk more about later about the other villains, as you can see at the bottom of the grid. But then moving on to, actually, I don't know what this Spider-Man is. I think that might be the Superior Spider-Man right there in the beginning of the third row. So that'll be interesting. We did see Olivia Octavius in the first movie, so I doubt we'll be getting Superior Spider-Man in this movie, but maybe we'll see him, like, just for a cameo, but we'll have to wait and see. And the next up is, I think that's another version of Scarlet Spider from the Clone Saga. Because I remember that's how Scarlet Spider looked on Ultimate Spider-Man, and I have an action figure from that show, and that's how he looked on it. But some people are also saying that this logo could belong to Carnage, which would be really interesting to see Carnage in this movie. And if we see Carnage, then we would probably see Venom. and it will be really interesting to see if those characters will be in this movie, especially after Venom 2 comes out a little over a year before this movie. So you have both Venom and Carnage in that. Then we also have Spider-Gwen, who is of course in the first movie, and she and Miles are actually the only two characters that are like officially confirmed to be in this movie. And then up next we have the 60s cartoon Spider-Man, which was of course teased in the post-credit scene for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the first movie, with the whole pointing argument thing. And then in the bottom row we have Silk, which is most likely going to be in this movie, because we already know that we're getting a spin-off movie from this franchise, which will be an all-female Spider-Verse movie, including Spider-Gwen, Silk, and Spider-Woman. That's like officially confirmed and has been since the first movie came out. So I'm guessing we'll probably see Silk in this movie. Then up next we have Cosmic Spider-Man, which would be insane to have him in this movie because he's super powerful. And I don't think he'll be in this movie just because of how OP he is. But this could also be like that suit from the Spider-Man PS4 game, the white suit with like this and the skull with the blue flames or something like that. And then also some people are saying it might be Mr. Negative, which would also be cool to see. Now here we get into the final characters, which are actually all villains. So we have Prowler and Green Goblin. Wouldn't be surprised if Green Goblin showed up again. But Prowler, well, spoiler alert for the first movie if you haven't seen it for some reason. Go check it out because it's an amazing movie. But Prowler's dead. So I don't know how that's going to work out. Maybe it'll be Prowler from a different universe. So I don't know how reliable that idea is. And then after that we have Shocker, which is interesting. That could also be a logo for Spider-Woman, since she's going to be in that spin-off movie. But if you look at the villains we have here, Sandman, Prowler, Green Goblin, and Shocker, and then also possibly Mr. Negative. Now, I think with villains like that, it would be really cool to have the main villains of the movie be the Sinister Six. Because Sony has expressed their want to have the Sinister Six in a movie at some point. So I'm guessing we'll probably get that in the MCU at some point. But they could also do this in animated form for this movie. And this honestly seems like a pretty cool team. With Sandman, Shocker, that's 2 members. Then if Mr. Negative is in this, then that would already be up to 3. Add in Prowler somehow, that would be up to 4. Green Goblin would be up to 5. And then also, you can always add in some villains that we had in the first movie. We had Scorpion in the movie. We had Tombstone. Let's see. Oh, Dr. Octopus, of course. Olivia Octavius, she could be part of this. And that would be really awesome to see. So these are all the characters that I think were revealed to be in this movie. If you have identified any other Spider-Man characters here, let me know down in the comments below. And what do you think about the possibility of the Sinister Six being the villains for this movie? But other than that, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you in my next video, so I can bestow all my Marvel knowledge upon you.